What's going on, Alabama fans? We have a ton of news that we have to talk about today. We'll specifically, talk about the trenches, the offensive line and the defensive line here for the Crimson Tide in the transfer portal. But the news started today with Ty Simpson officially declaring for this year's NFL draft. So I want to hear from you guys, your predictions down in the comments. Pick your next Alabama quarterback. Is it going to be Austin Mack or is it going to be Qua Russaw? Let me know down below. All right, first up on today's show, we are going to talk the transfer portal. In the past 24 hours now, Alabama has landed 3 more players in the transfer portal, and it all started here on Tuesday evening. Let's go ahead and take a look at all 5 guys that Alabama has landed so far. Josh Ford, tight end out of Oklahoma State, got him actually a couple weeks ago with Oklahoma State going through some, coaching changes there. He was able to hit the transfer portal a little bit earlier. Hollywood Smothers, running back out of NC State. And then the 3 newest guys here, you got Caleb Woodson, linebacker out of Virginia Tech. Kaden Strayhorn, interior offensive line is kind of what we're going to call him here. Played a little bit interior, played a little bit of tackle as well last year for Michigan. And then the latest one coming today, Devan Thompkins, defensive lineman out of USC. We're going to break all 3 of those guys down, and we'll also talk about some possible targets here for Alabama as well. Before we get into that, though, I want you to hype these guys up, these incoming transfers coming into Alabama. Look, they've got a lot of weight on their shoulders coming to Alabama. We know about the pressure that, especially us as Alabama fans, put on these guys. So make sure you get down there. If you're watching on mobile right now, at the comment section, swipe right and hit that hype button to hype these new transfers up. All right, let's take a look at some of these depth charts and where we're at right now. So you lost all 3 of your starting linebackers to the NFL draft this year. I assume Caden Jones and QB Reese are going to be 1 and 2 going into next season. You insert Caleb Woodson into that equation as well. By the way, there's been a lot of, changing around at that Wolf position as well. Qua Russaw is gone. Still have Jamarian Latham in there because I assume Alabama is going to try to get a medical red shirt for him. It's going to be like his 6th, 7th season or something like that. But, you can see the additions in there as well with Zay Hall and Xavier Griffin signing that 2026 recruiting class. But look, man, Caleb Woodson is a plug-and-play type of guy here for Alabama at that linebacker spot. Has racked up 151 tackles over 3 years here at Virginia Tech. So, look, you needed you definitely needed a guy with experience. Sure, you like some of the guys that you have, acquired in past couple years, recruiting classes, and you still might actually go with some of those guys as well, whether that's a Abdul Sanders, Duke Johnson, something like that. But a guy with experience, 3 years of experience in Caleb Woodson, adding him to that equation, that's a pretty solid thing, I think. All right, so we have talked about the offensive line a lot. You have had a lot of guys. Now 10 total players are going to be leaving this Alabama team this year, whether that's to the portal or to the NFL draft. So Alabama right now is targeting the offensive line very, very hard. And Kaden Strayhorn, out of Michigan, actually committed to Alabama last night. We talked about him a little bit the other day, but we'll kind of go over some of those same talking points there. Actually teammates with Michael Carroll at IMG Academy in that 2025 class. Took that visit to Alabama on Monday and actually only played 2 games for Michigan last year. Like I said earlier, played a little bit at center, played a little bit at guard as well. So is he a guy that, Alabama can have at that center spot? Because we'll show it to you in just a little bit. Don't know who's actually going to play center for Alabama next season. You also have some more players that are going to be taking visits here along the offensive line. Bama Online is reporting that NC State offensive tackle Jacarius Peak is expected to visit Alabama soon. When that visit is actually going to occur, not so sure on that front. Transfer portal is crazy, especially with these visits. They're kind of saying Thursday might be the day that he will be on campus. But like I said, you never really know. In Alabama right now is really trying to remake their offensive line under Kalen DeBoer's vision right Now, you think about the possibility, all 850 snaps here for Jacarius Peak last season was at left tackle. If you think about what you're going from with Caden Proctor declaring for the NFL draft yesterday, he was 6'6", 366 pounds. Jacarius Peak is 6'4", 298 pounds. They are not waiting around to try to do some of these changes as you're going into this Kalen DeBoer era where they want a little bit smaller offensive lineman that can be athletic, that can block out in space. He's the number one offensive tackle in the transfer portal right now. You got some other teams involved with him, Texas A&M, Oregon, started at left tackle, past 2 seasons here for NC State. By the way, already got his running back in the fold here with Hollywood Smothers. So this would be a very good pickup for Alabama. And they also have some other guys that are going to, or we'll just say that they're targeting as of right now. A couple guys have already actually, visited campus here. Brock Reichard, still kind of waiting on him. Haven't actually seen anybody report a visit for him yet. But DJ Chester, former LSU offensive lineman, somebody that we haven't necessarily mentioned so far here on the show. He's expected to be visiting on Thursday as well, so we'll see. They are going after guys along the offensive line right now. They are targeting it hard because this is kind of what I'm looking at right now as you're going into next season. Big news broke today, by the way. Kind of weird that we're saying it, but Michael Carroll has officially re-signed for the 2026 season. I know that's crazy to say when it comes to college football here, but I'll be honest with you guys, I just kind of threw guys in spots because I think Jackson Lloyd is probably going to be a guy in that left tackle battle right there, the left guard spot. We saw William Sanders a lot this season. Have no clue who's going to end up playing center there. That's kind of why you want Brock Reichard, to at least have a visit here in the transfer portal, and hopefully they can land him there. Casey Poe played like 8 snaps at guard this year. I think he played all 8 snaps that he played this year at right guard. So, I mean, I'm just throwing him in that right guard spot right now. And then, obviously, the only stability you really, really have right now is Michael Carroll at that right tackle spot. So, Alabama revamping this offensive line. Hopefully, they can get some more guys in on visits as well. And hopefully, we can start filling up this depth chart a little bit more with some plug-and-play guys, especially at that center spot. All right, I told you guys there's a lot of news to break down here today. And we'll continue with the news here in just a second. But first, today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on PrizePicks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every single weekend and elite hoops action almost every single night, the action never stops. And PrizePicks lets you take control. Got a little 2-pick power play here for us. Little QB versus QB action here. Heated rivalry as well between Green Bay and the Bears. We're going to go with the more than on both of these quarterbacks here. Hopefully, it's just a fun game, and these guys throw for a lot of passing yards because we got the more than on both of those guys for their passing yards. We got a new feature, by the way, to talk about on PrizePicks. They now offer early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Find your community on PrizePicks with a new social feeds feature. You can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups from winners in just a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your very own picks. You can even follow PrizePicks partners like us and tail or fade our picks with just one click. So download the PrizePicks app today and use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That link, by the way, going to be down in the comment section and the description of today's show. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, we had some more transfer portal entries for Alabama. We go from the offensive line to the defensive line here. Kelby Collins last night, it was reported that he was also going to be entering the transfer portal, and that's very tough because Kelby Collins was another guy that, I thought was going to be a, starter for Alabama next season. I don't know. I wonder sometimes if, I think with some guys, I think with the offensive line, the coaching staff is being very strategic about, for lack of a better phrase, pushing some of these guys out to revamp the offensive line. The defensive line, though, I really don't know what's going on right now. Obviously, you have Tim Keenan and LT Overton going off to the NFL draft. That is expected, but you have now 3 guys that were expected to be starters for Alabama next season and play some very meaningful snaps. Obviously, James Smith was a starter all year long for Alabama. Keon Keeley, I kind of think he's going to end up going back to Notre Dame. If you remember back when he was recruited, he was committed to Notre Dame right before the signing day happened. He ends up flipping to Alabama there. So it's being reported that he's taken a visit back to Notre Dame. So I would assume that's where he's going there. But Kelby Collins, just 1 year here, transferring from Florida. I thought he was going to be a guy that was going to come up big for Alabama next season. I guess that's not going to happen. So 5 guys right now along the the defensive line not going to be on this team as you go into next season. But like we mentioned yesterday, Alabama is working very fast and working very hard to try to fill some of these holes here. You got a new portal commit, Devan Thompson. We put a short out earlier for you guys this morning. So if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe because we usually put those shorts out before we put the videos out here. 6'5", 290 pounds, really big guy. Might even have a little bit of position, flexibility there. I think he'll probably kind of fill that same type of spot that you saw a guy like Kelby Collins play, for Alabama this year. And when you look at what he's done, he has gotten better over the past couple of years here for USC. He's already got 2 years of experience under his belt, so adding a guy into the fold here with experience is a very, very positive thing here for Alabama, and they are not done there. They're trying to get some more guys on campus as well. You have Arkansas State defensive tackle Cody Sigler. They're trying to get him on campus at some point here. They did extend an offer to him. That's what is being reported by Bama Online anyways. Some more teams getting in the fold there. You got Auburn, Mississippi State, 6'3", 297 pounds. So he's really going to be an interior guy at that defensive tackle spot. By the way, he only has 1 more year of eligibility left. You also have Jordan Ross, edge rusher out of Tennessee. I went ahead and threw him here in the defensive line category because why not? Former 5-star guy, by the way, from that 2024 signing class for Tennessee. He appeared in 11 games this season, had 3.5 TFLs, 1.5 sack, also had a forced fumble as well. So we'll see if they can get him in the fold here. And then the final one, you also have Malik Blockton, defensive lineman out of Auburn. He's got a lot of visits, lined up as well. So we'll see if Alabama can get these guys on campus right now. Because like we said, you need defensive linemen. Because you really, if one of these guys goes down, you just do not want to rely on freshmen. That just is what it is there. I know London Simmons played some meaningful snaps here this season for Alabama, but you just don't want to have to rely on freshmen there. And kind of the same thing as some of these other position groups here. These freshmen in this 2026 signing class don't exactly know where they're going to end up playing. Jamarian Matthews, Kamarian Johnson, or some of those guys, or either one of those guys, even Malik Franklin as well. Are they maybe going to put them at that wolf spot? I'm not really sure how things are going to shake out there. I do want to say, though, Corey Howard, we saw him in some videos as Alabama was getting ready for the Rose Bowl. The kid is absolutely freaking massive. So, we'll see if he can find a spot. And you also have Steve Boomwa as well, who's coming in his second season now with Alabama. Can his role really, emerge for Alabama next season? We'll see. But I think Alabama still needs at least 1, maybe 2 more defensive linemen as they go into next season. So are you worried about the defensive line? We have already seen now 5 guys, 2 guys go to the NFL draft and 3 more guys. And if you even want to include, Qua Russaw in that equation as well, I know we played Wolf, outside linebacker, edge rusher, whatever you want to call it there. So 4 guys in total, I guess, if you want to say that, are hitting the transfer portal. Are you guys worried about the defensive line? Let me know. Scale your confidence or scale your concern level 1 to 10. 1, you are not freaking out at all. You're cool, calm, and collected. 10, you are freaking out. Let me know what you guys think down below. Now, I do also want to remind everybody as well, there is only one transfer portal window right now. this season. Last year was a little bit different. Last couple of years, actually, it was a little bit different. And it was a little bit easier as well because, there was another window in the springtime. And if you missed on guys in this winter window, you at least had a second chance in the spring window to bring some more players, one or two per position group, whatever you needed, into the equation here. So, look, I believe in Courtney Morgan. I believe in Kane Womack. I believe in Kalen DeBoer. I think they have a plan. Courtney Morgan, back on signing day when they did that signing day show, they said, look, if guys hit the transfer portal, that's just more money that we can spend on other guys coming out or coming to Alabama out of the transfer portal. And look, Alabama didn't sign a massive signing class either. I think they signed 20 guys in this 2026 recruiting class. So it's not like they're, USC, like Courtney Morgan was talking about. They signed like 34 guys or something like that. A lot of USC's money is going to guys out of high school. Alabama's not necessarily working the exact same way as them here. So we'll see how much money Alabama's really trying to spend here. And by the way, Cam Coleman is now really, I think, more in the equation as ever. Alabama did also hire, actually went official today, Derek Nix, former Auburn offensive coordinator, to be Alabama's new wide receivers coach. So Cam Coleman, that might actually be realistic here for Alabama next season. But I know a lot of people right now are worried about some of these guys hitting the transfer portal. Hey, put your trust in Kalen DeBoer. Put your trust in Courtney Morgan. These guys got it figured out. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. There is a lot of news going on right now, whether it's guys going off to the NFL draft, whether it's guys hitting the transfer portal visitors coming in, or guys committing to the Crimson Tide. We have got you covered here on the channel. So don't miss out. Hit that sub button. You got free Alabama videos every single day.